I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, so let's focus on verses 35 through 38. If your brother becomes destitute and cannot sustain himself among you, you are to support him as a foreigner or a temporary resident, so that he can continue to live among you. Don't profit or take interest from him, but fear your God and let your brother live among you. You are not to lend him your silver with interest or sell him your food for profit. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. Leviticus 25, verses 35 through 38. The term interdependence describes a relationship where people are unable to exist or survive without each other, and where they rely on mutual assistance and support, cooperation, or interaction from among a group. God does not call people to independence, and yet much of our modern culture has been built on the idea of independence. In American society, people who are dependent have historically been frowned upon as weak, right? People who take social welfare, and they can't support themselves, and so they are now dependent upon the state. Children are taught that they should be independent and then to not need anyone or anything. For instance, growing up, I was taught that taking a handout or charitable contribution assistance was shameful. And along that same line of thought, I was also taught that if a person was needy, it was probably because they were lazy. Basically, there was a stigma of sin that was attached to poverty or need. And we were led to believe, growing up, that if we gave somebody charity, then we were probably enabling them to continue in laziness. We were taught that people should work hard and that money was our reward to keep for ourselves. And that's the theory that I was taught. And then one day, I needed charity. I've searched the scriptures, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I've yet to find an instance where God honors independence. God's design for society is that men would be completely dependent on Him, and He designs for His dependents, that's you and me, to live interdependently among each other in community. And the purpose of community, by the way, is to make our weaknesses ineffective. When someone covers your weakness, and by the way, we all have weaknesses, and when somebody covers your weakness, it frees you to operate in the strengths that God has endowed you with. Why? Because you don't have to spend energy on a weakness. You can just focus on your strength because somebody else is covering it. Nobody is an island, self-sustaining and all comprehensive unto themselves. Hard times will fall on everyone. God doesn't just provide spiritual and internal peace. He also provides physical and emotional comfort through the community of believers. He mostly provides for His people through the generosity of other people. And that is how Groundworks Ministries exists, by the way, by the faithful generosity of people like you. So don't be too ashamed to receive charity if you need it. And don't be so self-absorbed to withhold charity from others in need. In all things, our rule should be as the Lord leads. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is Groundworks Ministries podcast. Check us out at thegroundworksministries.com. Once again, groundworksministries.com.